what sort of person he is. Outgoing, very, very outgoing.
He's a really, really, really friendly, kind kid when he's not anywhere near those kind of moods.
And he's a happy, fun-going, outspoken, average child. That's the best way of putting it. He's an average child.
As Dad just said, he really is just an average child.
Over the last sort of year, it's getting less and less frequent. But then again, he has withdrawn himself off medication now as well. And since he's done that, he seems a lot more placid. He does laugh and joke around with us. You know, there are times when you can start to see him wobble. He has got signs, don't get me wrong, there are signs with him when he starts to wobble. It's very hard to say what mental illness it is because obviously he's gone through the statement process and they didn't give us a formal diagnosis. Basically, it's an emotional conflict disorder, which basically just involves his emotions not being at the same level. Obviously, the strongest emotion comes forward, which is anger, and that's what he shows a lot of. He has been given risperidone to sort of medicate it, but in all honesty, that's more a drug for schizophrenics, so you know, you can imagine it's not good. I suppose I've got more used to it because of the environment I work in as well. Obviously, working with him 24/7, you know, Zach's not really an issue. It's just become sort of part of the routine, you know. That's the best way of putting it. A lot of the time, it's directed towards the mum. That's the best way of putting it. That's why we did Break for Change earlier, well, 2 years ago now, was because it wasn't so much the physical, it's more the verbal attacks all directed more or less at women, and he was having the same problems at school. Since then it hasn't been so bad, you know. He will sort of try and square up to me because he's got that much bigger now where he feels he can actually sort of get in my face, which is quite nice because I can deal with it a lot better than his mum can. Now it's sort of shifted onto me, or he'll come and find me. He will purposely come for me. You know, he just squares up to me and just put him straight down. It's the quickest way.
I can't calm him down physically, and I had to lock him out of the house, and there was nothing scarier than that because he pretty much blacks out completely. It's like he becomes a completely different person when he flips, and I locked him out of the house because that was the only way I could see a safe haven, and I was fearing because he was slamming on the door. I have not seen a violent outburst like it. It's difficult because it can be one little thing that will always set him off. I mean, one moment you can be absolutely fine having a joke with him and he'll laugh along, and the next you say it again and it's changed, he's snapped, and it's targeted right at me, so I have to be really careful with what I say. And being the older brother and everything, I want to be there for him, and at times he just scares me so much that I almost feel like I can't be. It terrifies me, and yet I want to be there, and it's just something I've got to deal with. But I think I'm getting used to the idea now, and I am doing what I can.
It needs to be a lot more supported, even in school and education. We get, where I work, we get probably 15 to 20 referrals a day for EBD kids, or kids that are labelled EBD. They're not necessarily EBD, not necessarily got emotional and behavioural difficulties. It could be that they're just lacking behind in the class, but that's the brain diagnostics is mainstream, now trying to push them out as EBD. He wants to do horticulture, believe it or not. And he's actually applied for a place at Plumpton, which is actually at Stammer Park, so we found out. So hopefully, you know, he's been doing the last 2 years up with working with the groundskeepers and all their horticultural staff. Would Zach have survived at main school? Probably not, in mainstream. You know, it was the right move for Zach, but it's not necessarily the right move for every child.